Hi there. A big thank you to anyone who presses play and decides to listen to this. I was just actually sitting checking some emails, and again, I felt there was so much coming to me. I know that many of you probably feel the same, those of you who are really in touch with our inner higher self. It's our souls are just speaking to us so clearly just now, and that will get stronger. I feel that even those who have you can't push your soul away, but you can get so caught up in the ego or the human or the base, carnal, I was going to say carnal pleasures, but that pull from the lower self somewhat, or the fear-based self that takes you in the completely wrong direction from where you need to be. Now, some could say that there's no such thing as wrong. In essence, in one way there's not, because everything you have to go through is part of your learning and growth. If there's something that you didn't listen to and you make what may be perceived as a mistake, it may be something that you need to self-correct, you need to have humility. I was at the shop earlier on and I observed that most people in the supermarket were still wearing masks. Now, some had them just, like their chin nappies and, not over their nose. And you could see the ones who looked like they still were in fear. And there's, that sense of sad. It's like a soullessness between between the ears, but, like behind the eyes. And I try to look at people in the eyes and I try to, in my head, I'm sending love and I'm saying, wake up and remember who you are, and trying to put the little messages out there. Well, I am putting the messages out there, but I find that how I have to do that had to change. I'm sure many of you have seen that if you try to force someone to listen or to change, sometimes they put their, I've got to say their reinforcements, but yeah, they hunker down and they close up even more and they don't want to listen. And I found that I just had to back off from a lot of people. And that included, people around me or people who just couldn't seem to see it in my way. And it's never been about me having to be right. Those of us who had an awareness of what was going on, not just the last couple of years, but, I have smiled when I've said to people, I did psychic readings for the last 20 years. So just like someone going to the gym and building up that muscles over that time, I've built up the muscles of my connection to God and my connection to spirit and the connection to my own inner higher self. So as soon as, I've always been able to feel into the vibrational frequency. And I would say clearer now. There was times before that, I may have misconstrued something, or there's times I've been too trusting. So I've been in the presence of people and there's been something deep in my gut just didn't feel right about them. Something didn't feel aligned. I haven't felt that magnetic or vibrational resonance. And it's funny because today the one thing that was coming to me was Mike Pence. When he was Trump's VP, there was always something about him I just couldn't quite take to. And there's many like that where even if they present as Mr. Slick or Mr. Smooth or Little Miss Popular, there's times I've been around people and my inner child, my inner gnosis has given me that, a warning sign, the red flag, or just, watch out for them. And most of the time it's proved to be right. And that's not something I say to call out people. But another thing that I was thinking about today was, just to make this not too long a video, but when fake Biden supposedly, won I was going to say the erection, but you know what I mean, because they're a bunch of pricks. So it's my higher self's I've got a sense of humour. That's exactly what they are, a bunch of pricks, a lot of them. So when fake Biden, supposedly won, I watched those that posted to congratulate them and how much, Mr. T was, the Antichrist and how amazing Mr. B was. And I remember at the time thinking, what a load of crap. And this was coming from people who were supposedly Reiki masters and healers and angel people. And, we won't go too much into it. And I mentioned it at the time that these were people, some of them having, massive followings, that they were putting out these posts that my light team, my multi-dimensional self knew was a complete and utter load of nonsense. And that's where it got a bit tricky, because when I'd said to people before, not so much trust me, I'm a psychic, but I wanted them to hopefully listen to what I had to say. But then I was sharing with some people around about me just what I perceived was the complete rubbish that was coming out from some of the other healers and supposed psychics, and those that I saw went and took the jab, those that were promoting the Cabal's agenda, those that were putting out a narrative that was completely, in my eyes, were completely wrong. And what I was saying, this is not about getting people to come to me, because I have hardly done any work, as in one-to-one sessions, for the last 2 years, because quite frankly, I didn't want to. I had other things I wanted to work on. I didn't feel I was meant to take on other people's problems. I could see by some of the comments that was coming my way, even from previous clients that were a little bit snippy and, condescending, sadly. And as much as I'm here to help people, I am not having people come into my home that disrespect me or behave in that way. So I really had to step back from it all. And I've been working on other projects that can let me just be fully me and be in the right environment for me. I've had my years of, I did, pandering to other people, and I could see where I'd held myself back so much, often trying to, whether it was fit in with other people or I would feel sorry for them. And I've shared before, sadly, how a lot of people, and you know me by now, I speak bluntly, people took the piss or they took advantage. Or as I said, they didn't show me that level of respect that they should have, and I let them away with it. So you'll have seen in the last couple of years, I've been in warrior mode now, and I'm not putting up with anything that's less than what I deserve, and none of us should. So I am here to help people, but it'll be done in a way that honours me. And I know there's a lot of us have been through so many shifts in the last couple of years, and when I was walking around the shop earlier on, I could see that the people who have fallen for all of this, the words I heard were, they will hang their heads in shame or hide from you. So I've seen that as people who have either unfriended me or pulled back. And a lot of the time it's because I can feel that cringe. It's as the penny begins to drop and they realise they've spoken to me or someone else in a way that was derogatory, or they have fallen for absolutely everything that they were spoon-fed, there will be that great sense of embarrassment with many. And what it's going to take people to really stand in that humility, let go of ego, let go of pride. And as we move forward, people are going to have to come together and they're going to have to reach out to the healers and people who work like myself in holistic well-being. And yeah, I feel like there's so much I could say. I'm going to say this as well. I saw a post the other day about a Reiki share. Now for me, that has never felt right either, but I'll share just quickly why, just for me. Again, it might be okay for you. This is one thing I just want to reiterate here. I've been doing this a long time, and I could put posts out there and I could share my opinions and my insights, but I'm not here to tell you what to do and what not to do, because that's giving your power away. Too many people have given their power away in so many ways, and enough of that now. We've really got to kind of, go deep within ourselves, and it's going to be a lot about stripping back everything that was false so we can build on what is true and what is organic and what is, what's right for us. A lot of people don't know what's right for them. They're being told what's right for them. There's a big difference. It's going to be going back to, what do you really want out of life and what would you like to do? And, if money was no object and you didn't have people ordering you around or telling you what to do or not to do, what would you do? So that give you that something to think about. And just quickly about the Reiki share. For me, going back to what I said about seeing people, whether it was post Mr. T and B, and I have somewhat of a photographic memory, and I remember a lot of what people have said, down to those who thought that, Jacinda Ardern, which is deep state in New Zealand, the people who were fooled by her and seemed to think that she was, golden girl shining bright, when in fact she's heavily in bed and shagging all of the cabal, metaphorically. And these are people who are Reiki masters. So this is a point in case. I've seen a lot, and again, it's just my perception, from people who talk a good game. They may have a good following. They, might have a big smile and a big, the persona that looks a bit glossy. But if you read some of the posts and you read between the lines, what I've seen is I wouldn't let most of these people, I wouldn't let them anywhere near my energy field. But for me, that's just because I've spent years and years and years getting to where I am. I don't want to lie down and have 4 different people put their hands on me or put their energy in my space. Now, there is times where, prayer and meditation and coming together can be beneficial. But I also feel there's times it could be detrimental. If you're asking people who are not clear, i.e. they may still have their own trauma and wounds, and there could still be parasitic entities and attachments, just because they have a certificate or a title, don't necessarily let them near you. But again, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I was just guided to pick up my phone just now and record this. I feel that you've probably seen by some of my posts recently, every day there's so much I could say. And what I've got to the point now is I can't go over everything online and every social platform every day. But when you book a session, that time is dedicated to your healing, your clearing, anything you want to ask me. And we can go into it then, because you can imagine I know so many people, I've got clients, I've got people who would like that help, but I can't be pulled in too many different directions at once. So a dedicated session is where you'll get the best of me. But meanwhile, just keep going within yourself. And if there's anything you want to ask, as I said, it's not about me plugging myself, but you'll get all of my years of expertise and ability to connect when you're in this space. Sending out love. Bye.